Whitney Tilson claims to know the number one gold play right now and says this investment can turn $1,000 into over $300,000, a gain of more than 30,000%. I reveal the stock here so you don't have to buy Whitney's newsletter. No paid or proprietary info is given away here. This is all guesswork based on Whitney's publicly available sales presentation. Let's quickly look at Whitney's track record. He recommended Ginkgo Bioworks in May 2022 and claimed he'd put his wife's retirement account into this stock. It lost about 90% of its value. He recommended 3 stocks in January 2023, and the first was Amazon. This stock has done really well and more than doubled. The second stock was Shopify, and this one has done really well and has almost tripled since. The third stock was Nvidia, and everyone knows this was a great stock pick. He recommended Tech Resources in 2022 as a copper play, and the stock is up slightly but trailing the market. In August 2024, he recommended 3 nuclear stocks, and the first was BWX Technologies. It's up a good amount since. The second stock was Constellation Energy, and this was another really good stock pick. The last was Vistra, and this was the best of the trio, more than doubling since last summer. Let's shift back to the presentation now and try to figure out the stock. It starts off by saying the number one gold play right now. It's not a mining stock, ETF, or bullion, but this virtually unknown investment, around $10, could hand you huge gains as gold soars even higher. Then Whitney says, "Dear reader, today I'm going to show you the number one gold play you can use right now. We think you could use this to turn a $10 investment into a substantial gain as gold soars even higher. That's because after what feels like nearly a decade of disappointing performance, gold is stronger than ever and continues to hit new record highs. In fact, over the past 3 years, even as stocks climbed higher, gold is crushing the S&P 500. And Whitney continues and says, "We believe the price of gold is set to soar even higher in the weeks and months to come. In short, we are at the beginning of a brand new gold bull market, and we strongly believe we're about to see even more spectacular gains. If you want to capture the biggest gains, you absolutely must get into this brand new bull market as early as possible. I'm going to show you exactly what to buy today. It's by far our number one. One way to get rich in gold today, and you can get started for around $10. Later, Whitney says, "We think it'll likely keep going, soaring far beyond $4,000, reaching $5,000 or higher in this new bull market. And even that might be too low." One former investment banker argues gold will hit $27,000 in the coming years. And then Whitney says, "But I have an unfortunate truth to tell you. As this rally gains steam, most folks will likely run out and buy bullion or mining stocks. Sadly, these folks will likely miss out on the biggest gains. That's because there's a much better way to profit from the emerging gold boom. Most people know nothing about it. But as I'll show you, if you follow this simple approach, which has nothing to do with bullion, ETFs, or mining stocks, the gains can be absolutely incredible. During one period, for example, this virtually unknown gold strategy returned 38% per year, and not just for a year or two. This incredible investment returned an average of 38% a year for 18 straight years, turning every $1,000 invested into more than $300,000, and every $5,000 into a nest egg of $1.6 million. And then Whitney says, even during the Great Recession, when the stock market lost 37% in 2008, this approach not only preserved investors' wealth, it gained more than 50%, despite the fact that gold bullion barely moved. Whitney is talking about investing in a gold royalty company. A gold royalty is a financial agreement where a company, usually called a royalty or streaming company, provides upfront capital to a mining company in exchange for the right to receive a percentage of future gold production or revenue from a specific mine. Instead of owning or operating the mine, the royalty company collects payments based on the amount of gold produced, allowing it to benefit from the mine's output without being exposed to the operational risks and costs of mining. Let's look at the clues for the royalty mining company being pitched now. Whitney says, "Before you rush out and buy Royal Gold or Franco-Nevada, there's one thing you should know. Franco-Nevada and Royal Gold are great companies, but they've both been around for 40 years. Yes, they can still make investors decent money, but the days of 1,000% gains are probably long gone. After all, Franco-Nevada is worth more than $30 billion, and Royal Gold is valued at around $11 billion. He continues and says, "But there's another much smaller company that we believe is by far the best gold royalty investment you could make in the world right now. And that's why this company gives you a realistic chance to make astonishing gains thanks to this incredible business model. It's led by a man who grew the world's largest silver royalty outfit into a multi-billion-dollar company. This experienced team helped form a brand new royalty company, which uses the same investor-friendly business model as Franco-Nevada and Royal Gold. They now own royalties on mines in Brazil, Turkey, Mongolia, Argentina, Canada, and the United States, just to name a few. And this tiny firm has a huge advantage, which I believe could ultimately make them even more profitable for investors than Franco-Nevada or Royal Gold." The royalty company being pitched here is Sandstorm Gold, ticker SAND. Here's everything you need to know about this stock, and after I'll tell you if I'd buy Founded in 2007 and based in Vancouver, Sandstorm Gold Royalty has established itself as a key player in mining finance. The company provides upfront capital to mining operators in exchange for a percentage of future production, allowing it to benefit from a diverse portfolio of royalty streams. By mid-2025, Sandstorm's market capitalization ranged between $2.5 and $2.8 billion, reflecting its growing significance in the sector. Sandstorm Gold Royalty's portfolio includes over 230 mining assets spread across multiple jurisdictions, with approximately 40 mines actively generating cash flow. This broad diversification helps distribute risk across numerous operations. Currently, 75% of the company's revenue comes from precious metals, and Sandstorm has a strategic plan to raise this figure to 90% by 2030. Sandstorm Gold Royalty is establishing its baseline gold equivalent ounce production in 2025 and entering a growth phase driven by strategic asset acquisitions and development of its existing portfolio. By 2039, the company is targeting a 150% increase in attributable gold equivalent ounces compared to 2025 levels. With this growth, Sandstorm projects annual cash flows exceeding $255 million based on a conservative gold price forecast of $2,600 per ounce. In 2024, Sandstorm Gold Royalty reported revenue of 176.3 million Canadian dollars and net income of 14.3 million Canadian dollars, with operating cash flow reaching 135 million Canadian dollars. The company maintained a debt level of 368 million Canadian dollars against total assets of 1.85 billion Canadian dollars, resulting in a moderate gearing ratio of around 20%. The elevated PE ratio reflects market expectations for significant future growth. Quarterly dividends of 0.02 Canadian dollars per share position the company as a growth-focused investment with modest current income. Sandstorm Gold Royalty's portfolio is well diversified, with 60% of its value coming from its top 10 royalties and only 40% from its top 5 assets, resulting in a well-distributed risk profile. Nearly half of these top 10 assets operate in the lowest cost quartile, offering significant margin protection in the event of commodity price downturns. Sandstorm Gold Royalty's growth pipeline features several major assets, including a 0.9% NSR royalty on the high-grade Fruta del Norte gold operation in Ecuador, where ongoing exploration drilling with London Gold suggests potential for resource expansion. The company also holds a strategic royalty on Oyu Tolgoi in Mongolia, one of the world's largest copper-gold deposits, which provides long-term exposure to both precious and base metals. In Canada, Sandstorm benefits from a significant stream agreement on the Phoenix JV, ensuring stable gold production and the security of a North American jurisdiction. Sandstorm Gold Royalty's revenue is directly impacted by fluctuations in gold, silver, and copper prices, which can create significant volatility in its quarterly results. As the company holds non-controlling interests in all its mining operations, it is entirely reliant on the execution capabilities of its operating partners. With an international portfolio, Sandstorm is also exposed to political and regulatory risks, including potential tax changes and regulatory shifts in different jurisdictions. Additionally, future growth initiatives may require raising additional capital, which could dilute existing shareholders if not matched by proportional value creation. Sandstorm Gold Royalty has strengthened its commitment to responsible mining practices by participating in the UN Global Compact, implementing enhanced due diligence processes, and closely monitoring partner mining operations. These initiatives are part of a broader effort to formalize ESG frameworks and increase transparency. Additionally, Sandstorm's strategic partnership with Horizon Copper provides early-stage access to copper assets, while carefully structured streaming agreements ensure the company maintains significant exposure to precious metals. Sandstorm Gold Royalty offers a diverse asset portfolio with over 230 assets and more than 40 cash-flowing mines, providing strong diversification and risk mitigation. Its robust growth pipeline, with a projected 150% increase in production by 2039, supports the potential for long-term value creation. However, the company trades at a high PE multiple, which could pose downside risk if growth projections are not achieved. Additionally, Sandstorm's modest 0.6% dividend yield reflects a strategy focused more on growth than immediate income for shareholders. So what do I think about this stock? I believe it's a smart play on rising gold prices. Historically, when gold prices are high, investors often see the best returns by investing in gold miners and royalty companies. This is because these companies have largely fixed costs, so when the price of gold rises, their revenues increase disproportionately, boosting profits. Gold royalty companies are especially attractive because they aren't involved in the actual mining process, which is often risky and subject to operational setbacks. Royalty companies can achieve profit margins as high as 70%, compared to miners, whose margins can sometimes be as low as 10%. However, miners can offer faster growth potential, especially if they make a significant new discovery, which can cause a mid-cap or small miner's stock price to soar. That's the main trade-off. Royalty companies are typically safer and more predictable, while miners carry more risk but also greater upside if things go well. With Sandstorm, the key factor to watch is the price of gold. If gold prices start to decline, Sandstorm stock will likely fall even faster, especially given its relatively steep valuation. But if gold prices continue to rise, I think this stock has a good chance to outperform the broader market. And make sure to click the link in the description to get $50 off Alpha Picks. I reviewed over 100 stock picking services, and this one is by far the best. And they don't do any scummy marketing tactics every other company engages in. So if you want to put yourself in the best position to make money with stocks, click the link in the description now.